Hey math kids, we're going to continue talking about 3-point-C and the quadratic formula. So let's write down the quadratic formula. If you want to know how this is derived using completing the square, make sure you watch part 1 to this video. If you don't care, you can get through your homework without it. But we're going to try, so I'm going to set up an equation. You don't have to do this part, but I'm going to set up an equation that's going to work out nicely. And so I get x squared minus 2x plus x minus 2, and then x squared minus x minus 2. So I'm going to do the quadratic formula for this and show you that we actually get the roots -1 and +2, which would be the roots of this. So on your paper, you would just start with something that looks like the thing written in blue right here. We want to pull out our a, b, and c. So a is we're looking at ax squared plus bx plus c. So a is the number in front of x squared. Right here there's an implied 1. The number in front of x is our b, which is -1, and then the constant is our c, which is -2. So now we're going to take these values and plug it in right here. So we have -b, or the opposite of b, and so -1 actually becomes a +1, plus or minus, then b squared, so we get -1 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is -2, and that's all over 2 times 1 because it's 2 times a. Okay, from here, I like to simplify the bottom first, so we get a 2. Simplify here, -2. -2 times -4 is +8, and then -1 squared is 1. So under here, it's 9. So we get 1 plus or minus the square root of 9 over 2. We want to simplify this, and so we get 1 plus or minus 3 over 2. And then we need to take it a little bit further. So we say 1 plus 3 is 4 over 2. 1 minus 3 is -2 over 2. So these are our two answers, but we just need to simplify those. 4 over 2 is 2. -2 over 2 is -1. And so x equals those two values, which were the two values I said we'd get in the beginning. Okay? Now let's try another one. So let's say -3x squared plus 5x minus 12 equals 0. Okay, once again, we write down the quadratic formula, which is -b plus or minus the square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. We pull out our a, b, and c. A is -3, b is 5, c is -12. Plug that in. -b is -5. b squared would be 5 squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times a. So a is -3, c is -12, and then a once again is -3. Okay, we look at this. 2 times -3 is -6. -12 times -3 would be +36. And then 36 times 4, what is that going to be? So 36 times -4 is going to give us -144. And then this would be 25. Okay, now we simplify under here. So we have our -144 and 25 minus 144 gives us -119. Okay. Now 119 can't be broken down, but we can pull the I out. So we're going to say negative 5 plus or minus I. That's what the negative would become. And then 119. Then we have a negative 6 on the bottom. I would just accept that answer, and you just leave it like that. And we call it good. Now, let's do another one. Let's try 2x squared plus x plus 9. Let's not do that. Let's do minus 9. Okay. So we're going to do negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Pull out our a is 2, b is 1, c is negative 9. Negative b would be negative 1 plus or minus. B squared would be 1 squared minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is negative 9, all over 2 times 2. Bottom becomes 4. Negative 9 times 2 is negative 18. Negative 18 times 4 is negative 72. So we get 1 minus 72. So that's going to be, oh wait, no, sorry, that's positive. Because it's negative times negative, so it's positive 72. And so that is negative 1 plus or minus the square root 73 all over 4. And that would be our final answer on that. Now in your homework, you have these other problems that are kind of strange. So you're given something like this. V naught t plus S naught. So this is kind of, it's like semi-symbolic. There's some numbers, but we're going to treat it the same way. So we're still going to say negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, like that. We're still going to pull out our a, b, and c. A is negative 16, b is negative v naught, and c is S naught. And we're going to plug those in. So the opposite of b would just be v naught, no negative sign because we change it. And then we have negative v naught squared minus 4 times a, which is negative 16, and then times c, which is S naught. All of this is over 2 times negative 16. We simplify, we get negative 32. We're going to multiply these together. So if we do 16, negative 16 times negative 4, we get 64. And then if we did negative v naught times negative v naught, that would just be v naught. So we're going to get v naught plus or minus v naught squared. I already forgot what was the number. 64 plus 64 S naught. And that's all over negative 32. And that is good enough to solve for t for our class. And we'll call the video good as well. So if you need additional help, come to Math Lab. Until then, calculator.